Yeah, but
Why you stop?
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay.
No, you're good. But yeah. Welcome back to the Applying Pressure Podcast. I'm Mars.
I'm Young CP.
And welcome back to episode 6.
Episode 6.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, bro. You know, another day, living this shit. Vibing out. How you doing?
I'm doing alright.
It's good to hear.
I'm doing alright.
So what you been up to lately?
What's today? Today is Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Today's Monday. I spent yesterday doing nothing. I'm pretty sure I spent all of yesterday doing nothing. Actually, no, I was productive yesterday. I spent like 3-4 hours at the gym, which was overly productive at the gym. But like, I was just messing with some stuff for the podcast, for some YouTube videos on my own channel. But other than that, yeah, it's
4 hours?
Yeah, it was.
What was you doing for 4 hours, bro?
Cause I worked out for like 2, then went to the gym for like I worked out for 2, then played basketball.
And
sense. I haven't played basketball in so long.
Was you buns?
It's not even that. It's more so you feel it in your legs when you play basketball. Like I'm sitting here like
that is true.
Wow, cause when you shooting, you squatting down, pushing up, shot. So yeah.
You be hooping on that Westbrook shit too. I ain't forget.
What you mean?
Bro, every time I used to pull up in my crib, bro, and play, used to play like 1v1s or 21s, depending on who was there. Used to drive up, do a little crossover in it.
That's how you gotta do it.
Hey, it used to go in though, so I ain't mad at it.
Yeah.
I still eat them McChickens. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm craving the McChickens, man.
I could get it to you whenever, bro, no cap. But yeah, bro. I mean, for me, my weekend was pretty cool. But I do want to talk about that one thing that I was talking about earlier. My dad. All right. So the day is Friday. No, Saturday. Yeah, the day is Saturday, and he had hit me up talking about. Well, actually, my little sister hit me up talking about was you trying to go over there because it was my mom. It was my dad's little female friend, her crib, and there's some niggas over there that I fuck with that go to SOP. So I was down to go and stuff like that. And there's also people, you know, for Ty, like her little friends is over there. So it was cool. Everything was cool. Blah blah blah. We was chilling, having a good time, whatever. What pisses me off though is the next day, like, cause we had spent the night. The next day. He hits me and everybody I was with up because it was one of the niggas, they little sister too, was like hanging out with my little sister and then one of their friends, so it was 3 girls. And then my dad hits me up talking about, hey, can y'all drop them off at Grand Slam, whatever. And I text him back like, what you mean drop them off? Like, I'm not gonna leave them unattended. Like they're like 11, 12. Yeah. They're not even 13 yet. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna drop them off. Whatever, right? So fast forward, we get back to the crib, and he looks at me. He's just like, you know what? We'll just go, you know, take them to Grand Slam, since I don't feel comfortable dropping them off. And I was like, that's cool and all, but are you gonna watch them? Like, are you gonna like, you know? And he looks at me. And he's like, yeah, of course. Like, I'm gonna watch them. That nigga did not watch them, bro. That nigga he was with his shorty, whatever. And he literally dropped them 3 girls off at Grand Slam, was there for 5 minutes and dipped.
How you know he did?
Because my little sister told me. What happened was, and this is how it happened, because she ain't tell me off the bat. What happened was, remember when I told y'all her phone broke and shit? Because she was crying? Her phone broke because her friend, and the other girl, they all had their phones with them, but they all ended up dropping their phones because they was running around doing whatever the fuck they was doing at Grand Slam. So they all dropped their phones. And the other 2 girls' phones, they started working, but her phone didn't work. It wouldn't turn on and shit. And she just told me this, like, right before I left out with you, like, an hour before I left out. And I don't know, I just got so fucking angry. Like, I haven't even hit his ass up yet, but I'm finna go off on him. Because not only did you drop these kids off by themselves for hours, but also they didn't have any way to contact me or anybody else. Like, what if something happens to them? Them is little ass girls. All the shit that be happening these days. Like, and he told me dead ass. I looked at him in his eyes. I was like, oh, you're finna go take them. You gonna watch them and stay there, right? And he looked at me. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna go watch them and, you know, whatever. So I wasn't thinking much of it. But in the back of my mind, I was like, hold up, maybe I should text my sister and tell her if he leaves or not. But I didn't do it because I just, you know, I trusted his word. I was like, he's not gonna do that to his daughter. You feel me? I was wrong. And that shit really made me mad. Thankfully, they're safe. All three of them are safe, but I don't know. That shit makes me not want to see that nigga for a minute. He a grown ass man. Isn't dad supposed to be overprotective of their kids, especially their daughters? I don't know. How you feel about that?
I can understand where you're coming from. I can completely understand where you come. Like, I agree with you not liking the situation. My thing is, you, like, I know you like on a personal level, and you're getting really worked up over something that's not in your control. That wasn't in your control. There was nothing you could have done to change the situation in all reality. And what's happened happened. You can't change the past. There's no reason to sit there and be mad about it. You take this and learn from it.
I mean, I'm not mad at the past. I'm just mad at that nigga.
Yeah,
I'm done. I think I'm done, like, letting her go over there.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You can take that knowledge and you can think like, oh, I don't want her to go over there no more. But don't sit there and let that negative energy come. You have a whole podcast. Not podcast. You have a whole TikTok account posting like positive energy vibes. You can't sit here and let this one person have so much impact on your life.
I mean, it's not just like a normal person. Like, that's my.
I know, and I can understand. And there's been times where I've been sitting there with my parents, and they've said something, like they said things, and they said or done things, which made me question, like, they made me furious, like they made me hate them, like on a crazy level, because of what they said or what they did. And in all reality, it was one of those things. Like, I've gotten to a point where I've just been able to understand that I can't control what other people do or say, and you gotta let what happen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not like, don't get messed up. I'm not gonna let that like stop me or nothing. Like, I'm not gonna let that drain me from anything that I'm gonna get done. It was just kind of a evaluation, like thinking about the whole situation. Like, it's crazy because my little sister, if you get to know her, you're gonna understand she's one of the most gullible people. You know what I mean? Like, as a young age, and I'm gonna get real personal on these niggas, but as a young age, bro, I always knew that there was some shit going on with not only my dad, but my mom too. Those motherfuckers are not perfect. They're not the best parents. They're not the worst parents, but they certainly ain't the best either. You feel me? I learned, I would say, my 11th birthday in 2016 is when I learned that my dad was not like somebody that, like, he wasn't like my best friend no more, because he used to be when we were really young, you know? And ever since then, like, obviously I love him and I still do. That'll never change, but it's kind of like, it's just been weird ever since that year, you know? Life in general has been weird ever since that year, but my personal life has definitely been weird ever since that year. Like, I was younger than Tiana, younger than how old she is now, and, you know, niggas was homeless. For me, it was my mom doing everything that she could to, like, you know, get us out of that situation. I'm not gonna sit here and act like she was perfect. She could have made a lot of better decisions too, but she was still busting her ass. You feel me? We stayed in multiple places in the span of 3 months. Like, stayed with my grandma for 2 months into the school year. That's why I came to Coon Rapids, because before I was in Coon Rapids, I was over north. I went to Northeast Middle School. Shout out to my niggas from Northeast. But yeah, and then I stayed in Bloomington for a little bit with my homie Makai. Shout out to him, even though he don't be saying what's up no more. was in Coon Rapids for a couple weeks too with my cousins. Shout out, Kay and Javante. But like, it just made me mad because I saw this at a young age. My mom used to get up back in Bloomington. She had a job all the way in New Hope. I don't know if you know where New Hope is, but that's like by Robbinsdale. Yeah. Way, like, that's a 50-minute drive, and she doesn't drive. She used to take a bus. She used to wake up 2 hours before her shift and do that every single day just to, pay the rent of however much she was being charged. And she did that constantly until I think my homie's mom had got evicted because they wasn't paying rent, and then they ended up moving to Atlanta for a little bit. And then that's when we went to stay with my grandma. And then at that point, I had to make a decision. Because there was 3 decisions that I had. It was either I was going to go to the shelter with my mom and my little sister, I was going to stay with my grandma, or I was going to stay with my uncle on my dad's side. And the thing about my uncle on my dad's side is they got money. You feel me? They stay in Plymouth. They got money. And I was considering it, you know what I mean? Because I knew that if I stayed there, I probably would have been there. I would have grew up there. Like, I would have never came to Coon Rapids. Nothing that happens now would have happened. I would have been a Plymouth kid going to Plymouth Middle and Plymouth High School. But I decided not to do that. Only for my little sister. That is the only person and the only reason why. Because I knew she needed me. She was young. She still didn't understand. She was like, how old? 7 when this was going on? So I was like, yeah, I have to be that person because everybody else in her life is toxic. My older sister at this time, she was doing whatever the fuck she was doing. My older brother, it wasn't in his control. He was still in high school with his dad. So it was really just me, my little sister, and my mom. So what I ended up doing was I didn't go to the shelter with them, but I stayed in at my grandma's crib, only for the simple fact that school was gonna start. Anyways, the only reason why I say that story is because my dad wasn't there, like most of it at all. Like, I mean, occasionally, like he'd give us a ride somewhere, but he never really called. He never really checked up. He was never really there like that. So that stays with me, And it's not a grudge. I'm not holding a grudge against him. It's kind of just like, I don't forget that shit. You feel me? And then what made me mad the most is when we moved back, like when we moved to Coon Rapids, when we found that house, he came back after that. And he stayed with us after that. I guess he was trying to make things work or whatever, but they obviously didn't. So, yeah. And ever since then, I've been like, trying to give him a chance and shit like that. And for the most part, he's been good. He's been smooth, but it's just like the shit that you did with my little sister, leaving her like that. I know she's getting older, but still, you know damn well she's not ready to be out here by herself like that. And them little kids is younger than her. So y'all talk. And I don't think that nigga should be, I don't know how I feel with that nigga being alone with her. Like, taking her places and stuff. I gotta be there next time we go over there. Or she not, because I don't feel comfortable.
See, at that age, we only have like so much control of, like, especially when it comes to family, we only have like so much control of like what's going on. Like, we may want something to go our way, or we may want to do something our way, but like nothing, I won't say nothing, but most times out of not, if the adult or the parents or whatever family member has more authority over you, if that person does not agree with you, it's going to be hard for that relationship to thrive. So if you're in your situation, like, it's like the typical black household when it comes to like black people. Father's not really in the life. Mom's pretty much taking care of everything with multiple children. So it's hard and it's understandable, and it's tough to see that stuff like this is more than a stereotype. This is more of a reality. When you see African American fathers just leaving their children, not really caring about them. Maybe they do say they care about them, but they don't really put in the work and effort, the care to nurture that child, to help them grow and help them learn throughout the world. They most focus on living their lives instead of focusing on their child's life, which is actually just a sad fact. Because once they grow older, like you start to understand the world quicker and faster more than you should have. It's more disappointing, but that's how it came to be. And you start to see the faults and what's going on and how your parents act and what's going on and how your parents act. So when you start seeing those faults, you start to want to make your own decisions. But then you realize you're not living on your own. You don't really have a great source of income. To them, you're still the child that they knew since you were young. For you to go out and say that you don't want this to happen or you don't want this done, that's going to be hard. That's going to be a fight. Because who are you going to stop, or who are you trying to stop them from doing what they want to do? Understandably, that's why I want to be stable. That's why I want to be free from working a 9 to 5, working a job or anything. I want to be able to have my own freedom of choice. So if something ever did happen like that, if I didn't want my little sister going over my dad's house anymore, I could just say no. My little sister staying with me. If you do want to fight for custody, sure, that could happen. But at the same time, I've seen things and I know things you've done. So when it does come to that black house or this situation, this story is not unfamiliar, especially when it comes to black families. And it's sad, it's disappointing, but in all reality, you just gotta accept and do what you can and change what you can change. Because there's no point in trying to fight and change what you cannot change. I learned that just reading this book. I forgot what it's called, but it's really important. When you go out and when you go upon life, trying to do things, trying to change things that you can't change, you start trusting yourself far more. You start holding grudges, and you may not feel like the grudges, but in the back of your mind, in your head, they're actually grudges. You're holding high emotions towards this person, and on the outside, you act like you're cool, you act like you're good, but at the same time, you're not. You're letting all this stuff build up, letting it pent up, and letting it get to you. And at a certain point, you gotta change what you can change. You gotta control the controllables, or else you're gonna be chasing this ideal person, ideal thing, ideal way that you want to go. And holding these high emotions toward this one or multiple people, in all reality, it's just stressing you out and it's causing you pain.
That's well said. I mean, yeah, that's the best way you can put it. I mean, that's the same for me. Like, it's the reason why I want to not branch off and be independent, but be able to provide for myself and be able to have a say. Now, like I said, I don't hate the dude. He cool. It's just like I'm trying my hardest to trust him. You know, I want to. I don't wanna have anything bad to say. I'm all for, forgiving but not forgetting. But it's like, come on, nigga, you're like 45 or whatever. Like, you are a grown man. But like I said, I'm not like trying to stop her from seeing him. I just think if he goes over there, I'm gonna be over there too, and I'm gonna be a lot more. Like, my eyes are gonna be more open and stuff. Because literally, my homie said it best. We was in the car on the way back. He was like, "Nigga, I do not feel comfortable with them doing that. Like, we thinking more logically than they are." And I was just like, "Damn, that's the truth." But I don't know, bro. I don't know.
See, it's hard though, because the trust is gained, not given.
Oh God.
See, when you're trying to force trust, or you're trying to make yourself trust somebody, it's not going to end up working out as well as you think, because you're forcing this trust. Trust it's built upon, it's natural. When you trust someone, you're not initially trying to figure all this stuff out to make this person trustable. You're just trying to, or this person, then already this person, you already know that you trust this person enough to do anything.
It's like
with you, I've never had to force myself to be able to trust you. I always knew that you're a trustworthy person. I knew I was able to judge you as a character, you as a person, and knew that I could trust you, not only with like regular stuff, but on on a personal level, I could trust you. And it's one of those things, like, you just judge a person based on how they act, how they treat you, how they treat other people, and then
the trust comes.
Yeah, the trust comes.
Trust is enforced, and you're right about that. I don't know. What do you think I should do in this position? Like, what would you do?
In all reality, it's hard because if my sister would have to go over there, like if she had to, like by law, then that would be a whole another situation in which I would take that case to court. Only because I wouldn't want him having custody. If I knew that he was out here living life, leaving my little sister behind while she could have been kidnapped, while she could have been killed, while this could have happened, I'm sitting here thinking of the worst possible. I'm bringing this to court because that's a multiple violations of CPS. Yeah.
Type shit.
I don't know, man. There's only so much you can do in that situation until you actually gain power.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully, it's not just us two as far as siblings goes. Like, my older sister, actually, I can't even say that yet on my podcast just because my mom could watch this, so I'm not going to say all that. But all I'm going to say is I do see light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to that situation. But yeah, I just thought I should get that off my chest because, like, I just learned about that shit 2 hours ago, so I definitely was hot.
Yes.
But yeah.
You're smart. You know what to do. In a situation where it comes down to it, you know that whatever choice you make is the right choice.
God. Like I said, I just want what's best for her and stuff. You know, it's all about. Like, I love my sister, but me and her both know, she's watching this, she both know that she does not want our little sister to grow up the way she did. She grew up way too fast. And the reason she grew up too fast is because she didn't have any parents, you know? Like, her dad wasn't there, and our mom is a lot more immature than she is now. Sorry, Mom, but it's the truth.
Do you feel like that's a good thing?
What do you mean?
Like, that you guys mature faster than other people?
To answer that question, there's this quote that I learned. And the quote pretty much is, and I think I might have said this on the last podcast, but it correlates with this too. It goes, weak men create hard times. Hard times create, strong men, and strong men create good times, and good times create weak men. And with that quote, it's like, yeah, if I didn't go through those things that I went through, I wouldn't think and talk and act the way I do now. But at the same time, it's like, it's kind of bittersweet, because there are good people in this world who didn't go through that. There are definitely good people in this world who didn't have to live that type of childhood and stuff. But me personally, I don't know, because I look at my peers who came exactly from where I came from, and they're not the way I am. And it's crazy because they also came from that background. They also came from, parents like that, and they went a completely different direction. So I don't think that, I can't say that my childhood shaped me 100% who I am. I kind of think that fate is a real thing. Sometimes people just have fate. Their fate is what happens. And I'm not saying that somebody who kills is supposed to be somebody who kills, but I'm also saying that I can't disagree with it either, If that makes sense.
I'll say it's more so one of those things, like, you're shaped by not only the people around you, but mainly your environment. So some people, like you said, the way they came from where you came from, they came up like same area, same way, almost the same story, but they took the different route. And I don't solely believe that's just based off of fate. I feel like that's more so based off of like their own experiences, what they saw in life, what they've gone through, because nobody ever has the exact same life. Nobody ever has the exact same experience. So you might have gone through something that made you think like, oh, I don't want to gangbang. I don't want to be a shooter. I don't want to do this. I want to be something more. While somebody else might have had more influences to become a gangbanger, to start selling drugs, to do this, do that. So when it comes to that, I feel like becoming mature, that's it's a self-growth mindset at the same time with your environment. Like, you solely do not become mature based off your environment. You become mature based off your environment.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. If it wasn't for my older brother, I also wouldn't be the way I am. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't. I never lived under the same roof as him ever in my life. But every time, because he used to come over like every other weekend type shit when we were younger. Every time he came over, he made a strong impact. He made a very, very strong impact. He was like, and I know it's funny because like he tells me like his point of view of things back when we were that age is a lot different.
Yeah.
But for me being that little brother, and I was kind of the only dude in the house too.
Yeah.
Like seeing him really like changed everything. Like literally everything that he did, no matter if it was good or if it was bad. I wanted to be that, you know? Yeah. I looked up to him just like how my little sister looks up to me. Like I wanted to be just like him. If he played sports, I wanted to play sports. If he danced, I wanted to dance. So, yeah, it's funny because his dad, right? We have different dads. Yeah. His dad, and we were having this convo like probably a year and a half ago. His dad was there, you know what I mean? And I'm not jealous or anything. Like, I'm glad his dad was there. It shaped him to be the man who he is. And it's funny because, like, when my dad wasn't there, he was kind of playing that role. He was kind of the one teaching me about things. He was the one that I went to when, I don't know, when I started having mental illness and girls and just all of that. He was the person who I went to first. I never went to my dad about that. I still don't go to his ass about that. He didn't know about my relationship with that girl that lasted over a year. He didn't know about any of that shit. I ain't telling him when I lost my virginity. I ain't asking him about nothing. I ain't telling him anything. He didn't teach me how to become a man. He didn't teach me shit except for what not. He taught me what not to do, and that's it. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just kind of like your environment does go hand in hand with that.
Yeah, because I'm a firm believer in that. A female cannot raise a man. I don't believe that it's true. Facts. By any way, shape, or form. If a man or a young boy does not have a father figure in his life, it would be hard for him to transform into a man, solely because a female cannot help with masculine things. She can't help with male tendencies, male urges. She's never experienced them. She never knows how to go through them. So no matter how weird or good or evil in your book this male may be in your life, if there is a father figure in your life, he is still able to guide you on how to become a better man, how to respect women, how to deal with your urges, how to dress better, how to smell better, how to do hygiene. Because there are certain things that a woman cannot teach.
Yeah, and to add on from that, like, that's facts, dude. It's funny because media and, like, not to come at feminists or anything, but, like, kind of the feminist culture, they kind of teach the opposite of that. They kind of teach that, oh, us women have to be the man and the woman in a relationship. I mean, not in a relationship, but in the household. We have to be the man and the woman to raise our kids because dads aren't there and shit. But it's like, I kid you not, I have never met a good man who didn't have a father figure in their life, ever in my life. It's just, it's the truth. And it's funny because I didn't learn this until very, very, very recently. Because I'm going to be honest, growing up, I didn't realize how much of an impact my brother was. Because I was still young, and he always had an impact. And I never, ever realized it. Ever. Like, I kind of always just had this thought that I didn't have a father figure and things like that. But that's a cap. If it wasn't for his ass, I would be just like them niggas that you see trying to be something that they not. I promise you, we would not be here. I would never, ever be in this position. Like, literally, I owe that man so much, for real. And he does, and it's funny because, like, he doesn't even know. Like, he knows now, but at the time, he didn't even know that he was being, he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know that he was gonna really shape my character.
He was just being there.
Exactly. He was just being a good brother. He loved me. You feel me? Because I have another brother. Yeah. And it's not so much of a coincidence that nigga's not in my life and he's the one who's biologically related to my father. it's not a coincidence anymore. I used to think, oh, maybe you know, I don't know, maybe he didn't know who I was and shit. Like, nah, because I met his ass before, and at the time we were young, but it's like he's a grown man now. You feel me? He's a year younger than G, so what, 20, 19? He's a grown man. I tried to hit him up many times, and it's like I'm the kid. I'm the little brother in this situation, so it's kind of like I don't really give a fuck. You can't give a fuck. I just hope that nigga don't hit me up when I get rich.
Totally.
But yeah, you know, if you watching this, bro, which you probably is, bro, shout out to you, cause like I don't know where I would be right now. Like my older sister, I love her to death, but she didn't really get there until after. You know, she didn't really like teach me a lot until after she went through what she had to go through, and it's not her fault. She was going through so many demons her damn self because, nigga, we have a, what is it, 8 year, 10? We have a really big difference. We have a big gap. When she was a teenager, I was in elementary school. You know what I mean? So we had a completely different life. We had a completely different childhood. Like, I'll never forget, this was April of 2020. We had, I don't even know if I can say this. We was just chilling at a bonfire. May or may not have been doing stuff as far as fuck it, we was smoking. And then it was the first time I actually had a convo with her, and like a real convo about like our childhood and my mom or our mom and stuff like that. And she was just telling me, she was like, yeah, like I know you got it bad and stuff like that, but let me tell you about what I had to go through. She was like, if I'm being honest with you, like grandma raised me, bro. Like I didn't really raise me. Grandma used to send me up there. She used to send me to grandma's all the time, blah, 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 while she was doing her own thing. And that's kind of why, like, they don't have the best connection now. And, like, I always told myself, like, I don't want to have that bad connection with my mom. I still don't, because, you know, she's trying. She's not perfect, but she is trying. I don't even know where I'm going with all this, but, yeah. I'm just giving you my whole life story. I'm giving these niggas my whole. They gonna know everything about me after this shit.
This gonna come up in the next. This gonna be like episode 87.
Man, they gonna be like, remember you telling me about your. You good, bro? How you doing with your dad, bro? I'm like, alright, nigga. but yeah, you know, it's just like to go all the way back to what you're saying. Yeah, I think that it did shape me, and if you have good circumstances and bad circumstances and you learn from them, because that's the problem. A lot of us have good ass sob stories, but we don't learn from them, you know? A lot of us have good sob stories and we don't learn from them. And the other side of it, a lot of us come from good shit, great shit, but we aren't humble about it.
See, I realized this like a couple of days ago. When you have the people who come from rich wealth and I guess natural, like middle to high class,
yeah,
there's a lot of people like that. When they're growing up, they don't really deal with struggle. They don't have to deal with going through like real pain, real struggle. So,
well, I mean,
okay, I'm speaking on like financially.
Okay.
I'm sorry, yeah. Financially wise, they don't really have to deal with anything that deep. But when you have people of color, people of my skin tone, going through financial trouble, it teaches them lessons that's easier to learn when lost. When you lose something, it's easier to learn from that than learning about something that you already have. Yeah. Like if you're born into wealth, I would say it's harder to learn how to build that wealth than being broke and trying to learn how to build wealth. Yeah. Because when you're broke and trying to learn how to build wealth, yes, you want it more. You're hungry, you're starving. But these people, the wealthy people, they're comfortable.
Like it's like
if this fails, then I can always fall back.
Exactly. Like they're not gonna. It's not get rich or die for them. It's get rich or fuck it. Let me ask my dad for some thousands. Like you know what I mean? Like it's not really like. It's not like you have to do this. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, we have that survival instinct in us. You feel me? And if you add intelligence to survival instinct, you will always come out on top.
True.
Mark my words, man. Like a lot of people at the bottom, they have that survival instinct, but they don't have the intelligence. And a lot of people have the intelligence, but they don't have the survival instinct. You gotta have both. You gotta be equally as hungry and equally as like intelligent, smart with it, doing your research, really grinding and learning. Because you can sit there and bitch in the back about how you want to get rich and how you want to make it and how you'll beat a nigga ass for some money. Go do that shit. You're not gonna get anywhere because you don't know how to do it the right way. You feel me? And I think that's the problem with a lot of things. Like, you have to have street smarts and book smarts to make it. You know, you can't have one. Like, for example, right? I love using this scenario. Probably used this one already too. But you about to get jumped? You having a dude who fought 50 people, or you having a dude who read 50 books about fighting people? I'm having a dude who fought 50 people. Now, yeah, you can get the nigga. The nigga who reads books, 50 books about fighting. He probably got some hands too. Don't get me wrong. He probably know all the combos and shit like that. But experience is the greatest teacher. All the niggas who wrote them books experienced it. You feel me? Experience is the greatest teacher, and that is why a lot of people who come from the top, they don't really like. They could probably learn how to make money because their dad put them on, but it's like, in one of my lyrics I said, I'm probably not gonna leave money in the will for my kids. I might, but at the same time I might not, because them niggas are gonna be weak. I'm just gonna be like, to my kids, if you're reading this, you're probably gonna be weak if I leave a lot of money in the will for you, because I know I'm gonna get rich. But I don't think you're gonna want it as much as me if you have the money already. I just don't think that you're gonna wanna rise from it, unless I teach you at a young age that it's not about having what you already have. It's about looking at it like you at the bottom and you trying to get to the top. I'm all over the place again, but you know what I'm saying.
No, you make sense.
Yeah.
When it comes to the world, I'm living for my kids in the world only because you never know what's gonna happen.
True.
Like, a lot of rich people say they're not leaving money for their kids. I wouldn't want to not leave them money and something bad happens and they're not able to come back from that.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of times when that happens too. I would like to have I want to be rich to the point where I'm able to give my children businesses and have them run it. So if I do pass away, they can take over, get the money from my will, build more businesses, and keep going from that.
Yeah.
Like you said, experience is the greatest teacher.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna contradict myself a little bit. I would leave money in the will for my kids, but they gotta. I think I have to teach them first. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna leave the money in there, but like you said, in order for them to like keep the shit going and be even better than I was, like, you gotta teach them at a young age experience, you know? And a lot of people are like, oh, I wouldn't homeschool my kids because, and this is gonna be me talking about the public school system, because I think that's another good topic, but I want to homeschool my kids. And the reason I want to homeschool my kids isn't because I want them sitting in front of a fucking computer learning about bullshit from the computer all day. No. You don't have to homeschool your kids that way, and a lot of people think that that's the stereotype of it. Homeschooling your kids is giving them a whole bunch of books and computers and a computer and saying, all right, you're done by this by 12 p.m. No. I mean, he's still going to do some work online just because that's how it works, but he's going to learn stuff. He's going to go places. I'm going to take him or her places. We're going to actually go and see things. We're going to see the world. We're going to learn how everybody should learn. That's how you build your creativity. Experience builds character. You are never going to meet a well-categorized person or characteristic having ass person who doesn't do much, who doesn't go outside. Like, a lot of kids, and I saw a TikTok about this. A lot of kids who grow up with like social anxiety and like have like are big introverts and things like that, it's because their parents never took them outside. You feel me? They never like experienced, like, they was always
Focus on school.
99% of their life revolved around the school and grades. And it's okay to be smart, but it's not okay to have no type of Like, you can't even hold a conversation with me and look me in my eyes because you do not know how to interact with humans. Like, you're like a walking robot. You're like a soulless being. And it's not even your fault. Like, there was one person I used to work with who's like that. And they're not really like that anymore, but they were like that when I first met them. I can't say too much, but I could just tell that person, like...
Socially awkward,
and it wasn't even their fault. Socially awkward by force. Socially awkward because they had shitty-ass parents who were bots. You feel me? Bot-ass parents. I hate bots. I'm sorry, bro. I don't mean to be that way, but I genuinely do, like... If you're a bot, be a bot. But if you treat your kids that way, if you have children and you don't, like, let them express themselves, you are a bitch.
Do you think bots know that they're bots?
Hell no.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
That's why I can't say I really hate bots. I want to say that, but I can't because a lot of bots were also botted as like by their parents, and it's just like this endless cycle of bot, and it's really sad because when I come across people like that, like I treat them with respect. I say what's up. I see how they're doing. Because some bots are only bots because they've never been around somebody who wasn't, and then when you come across them, they're like, actually, I've always wanted to talk about that, but I've never had somebody to talk to. And then boom, they're not a bot no more.
I was talking to Miss What's-Her-Face about the DSU. After you guys had left, I was talking about like expanding it, huh? Yeah, I was talking about expanding and reaching out to more people because there are more people who want to have conversations like that, but they're unable to because they're not comfortable around the people that they're hanging out with.
They're gonna get shunned and people are gonna talk about them in distance. Like I don't care who you are, it'll happen unless your parents are like expressive as fuck and you just got lucky. You're gonna grow up with the fear of expressing, like really expressing true shit, expressing how you want us to talk and what you want to do because of mainstream media. Mainstream media and school go hand in hand. A lot of people don't realize that. It goes hand in hand. Everything online is made to keep you low-bodied, like not to know shit. And everything at school is the same way. They don't teach you about mental health. They don't teach you about how to become financially free. They don't teach you about how to like have deep convos and how to hold a conversation and how to have social interaction skills. And they would never tell you to talk about religion. They would never tell you to talk about any of that shit. Aliens, maybe, but that's if you're in like astronomy. And even then, astronomy is strictly based off of facts. It's not based off of your opinion. And I say that because I'm in a class. Like I'll base my opinion, and I'll be like, actually, according to NASA, and it's like, all right, nigga, all right, bro, you feel me? So it's like you really gotta do your own thing outside of school and outside of social media, outside of what you can see. You feel me?
Speaking of, yeah. So you don't want to homeschool your, or you do want to homeschool your child?
Yes, I don't like the public school
100%.
system. 1,000%.
So I want,
unless the school system changed by the time I'm having kids, which I doubt.
So I'm gonna have you react to this video. I'm gonna put this up on the screen for everybody that's watching.
Is it bad? What the fuck? I don't even know if I want to finish watching that video, dude. Nah, bro. Dude, you know when you hit that back of somebody's head like that? Like, that could actually ruin your life? Like when you constantly hit the back of somebody's head? Like, you know that's like illegal in boxing, right?
Dude.
That's illegal in boxing because if you hit right here in back of somebody's head over and over again, you will literally be clinically like brain damaged. You will never be able to like do anything in your life again. There's a boxer who did that. He was going crazy. He was a normal human being. Neurotypical human being, which just means like he functions like us. He got one clean hit to the back of the head by accident.
Yes.
His whole life was over.
Like, there's so many problems that's wrong with the video.
That's why I couldn't be a teacher. For that reason why. I do not give a fuck about my job more than... When it comes to a teacher, I don't care about my job more than the kids. If I see a kid getting his ass beat...
If that's the case, it's, no matter what, no matter who the teacher is or no matter what's happening, the teacher should have...
Stopped it.
Yes. The teacher's like, hey, stop, guys, stop.
Weak ass teacher.
Bro. If you don't... Because it's been like 20 seconds already, and she's still pounding her. None of the students are grabbing her. The teacher's watching too. Dude, there's no reason that this kid shouldn't be in juvie.
I hope they're okay.
That kid should be in juvenile detention. That's insane. Like, if you're... That person could have died.
Literally.
Just,
and there's been people who have died in school fights.
Yes, and that's not even a fight. Somebody tried to argue that in the comments, like, this is a fight. That's not a fight.
Now, they were like, oh, she said something racist. Or, like, bro, I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm not about to kill a nigga because he said something racist. That's what I'm saying. I'm not about to kill him. I'll maybe knock his ass out.
You have to learn how to control your emotions.
Exactly.
There's no reason why you should be pounding on the back of somebody's head.
And that's why I always be preaching to, like, the teachers, like, why do we not have a mental health class? Why do we, in normal health class, we talk about mental health for 2 weeks and then we act like it's all over. We talk about depression, suicide, all that shit for 2 weeks.
You don't even go deep into it. You just talk about the drugs.
Just like, 1 in 3 people want to kill themselves. All right, next subject. It's like, nigga, what?
No.
That is literally, I'm pretty sure in teen deaths alone, suicide is either the second or third most common reason why people die.
Yeah.
And that's just in teens alone, bro. Who knows what it is in everyone?
You know it's crazy? There's more male suicides than females.
Yeah, 2/3 are males.
And that doesn't get talked about at all.
Yeah.
You only see female suicide promoted. I'm not saying that's a good thing or anything, but there's no awareness for men's mental health.
Dude, men's mental health, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Men's mental health is only getting worse. And I hate using this as a scenario because I don't ever want to bring women down because, you know, women or men are not better than women in any way. Women are not better than men in any way. But
You say so.
shut up, bro. But as far as the media goes, bro, men are constantly being bashed. Toxic masculinity. As toxic masculinity rises, mental health
toxic
decreases in dudes.
It's not real.
I don't know.
It's just
it decreases.
It's like females getting mad at males because of males being masculine.
Dude, I just had an idea in my head. I'm gonna make a TikTok probably tomorrow, maybe tonight, and I'm gonna say 5 things to increase your testosterone as a male. That's gonna be the title or some shit like that.
That's not gonna give him views.
It might.
It's not gonna be as popular as your other videos though.
I'm gonna start making videos that have to do with the word. I'm gonna put the word testosterone in every like 5 videos. One of them are gonna be bound to blow up. And I promise you, mark my words right now, they're not gonna blow up for the right reason. They're gonna be like, oh, testosterone. What are you trying to say? Blah blah blah.
Toxic masculinity.
Because shout out my ex. She's the reason why I support this claim. She's the reason why that men's mental health is going down, and the reason why I can support that is because I was talking to her about testosterone. I thought she had an open mind, and I actually thought she was mature enough to have a conversation like that. And I was telling her about like all of that. I was telling her about testosterone and why, you know, men don't have it anymore and how it's lowering because of everything that's going on, porn, all that. And she was like, that's a myth. That's not real. She's like, men with really, really high counts of testosterone are the ones who are angry the most. The ones who act out of character. Like, she said that bullshit. And I was like, nigga, what the fuck is he talking about? And then she was like, when women go on their period, they have I told you this, when women go on their period, they have higher, their testosterone count gets higher when they're on their period. So when you think about it, women are just acting like men. That's not how it fucking works. My bad to be cussing. But men need testosterone like women need estrogen. I repeat, men need testosterone like women need estrogen. So if we had high counts of estrogen and low counts of testosterone, we would act crazy as hell too. We would act weird as fuck too. Same thing with girls who have really, really high counts of testosterone.
They're more masculine. Like, if you're a man with a
masculinity
low...
is not testosterone. Let me just say that now to all the girls who don't know what I'm talking about watching. Masculinity is not testosterone. Testosterone helps with masculinity, but masculinity is not testosterone. But my bad, keep going.
Yeah, but...
Well, you stop.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
My bad.
No, you're good. But, yeah. Just in all reality, I don't know why it's such a hard concept and why men... Because I guess it's such a thing where there's like feminists. I don't know what I was gonna say women activists, but there's feminists, and with the feminist community, they take. I wouldn't say the entire community, but I tell people like I'm not a feminist because I can't agree with everything they say. They push too much because feminists are supposed to fight for equality, but they push back or they push forward towards
equality.
Yeah, they push past equality.
And I feel bad too because it's not all feminists. It's literally the only. It's only like a select amount of women who represent the actual. Like if you look on Twitter, and there's this one video on YouTube. You know how Jubilee or like one of them, they be having them. God. They be having them discussions and shit. Yeah, there's one where it's about.
React to one of those videos.
We definitely should, bro. It's about feminists. It was feminists versus non-feminists.
I saw that video.
Yeah,
oh my god.
And like. That literally kind of explains what I mean by the whole toxic masculinity thing and how a lot of women don't even know like what testosterone is, and a lot of women don't know about like men anatomy like men don't know about women anatomy. Like we don't get taught enough about each other, and that's kind of why we have a lot of disagreements. We don't get taught about how each other act.
Uneducated.
Yeah, and it's sad because that should be a whole class in itself too. In health class, they kind of teach us about that, but they don't teach us enough about strictly men learning about women and women learning about men. We don't even know about each other that much if you think about it.
Unless you sit there and do your actual research, you do not know the female body and brain as much as you know the man body.
You have to do your own research. You literally have to do like school would never teach you that, and that's how fucked up that is. That's half of the population.
That's why there was the whole. Let me not say was. That's why there's the whole toxic masculinity thing. Mm-hmm. There's women out there who thinks it's okay to heavily judge men for acting. I wouldn't even say acting, for being masculine. They think of it as a bad thing. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity.
Exactly, because the more masculine you are, the better you are as a man.
That's a top tier man.
Toxic. They should call it, like I said the other day, they should call it toxic femininity in a man, or toxic. But you can't say that because then people call femininity in a man is me coming at a gay person or a gay dude, but that's not what I mean. I would say toxic femininity in a man would be bitch ass dude who doesn't know how to control his emotions, who doesn't care about others, who has poor mental health and doesn't decide to take care of it. You're just a trash man. Just think of a trash dude who has anger issues, who doesn't control his emotions, any of that. Mm-hmm. That's not toxic masculinity. That's I guess you could say a toxic high estrogen ass nigga or whatever you want to call it, or low masculine. If they change toxic masculinity to hashtag low masculinity dude or no testosterone dude or whatever the case is, then I would agree with it, because then that would actually help dudes when they increase the testosterone. And guess what? There would be more dudes who are good people. There would be more dudes who understand themselves more, and there would be more women who understand men, and more men who understand women. Like it's as simple as an Instagram post.
But it's the only reason, I wouldn't say the only reason, but the sole reason why men lose so much testosterone is because they masturbate. Okay. And it's become so normalized on social media to watch porn, to masturbate. Yeah. And it's sad, bro, because it's an addiction. It's a terrible addiction. So that's why you see so many low quality men out there. They sit there and masturbate for majority of their lives. They're masturbating, and it's sad because they don't know any better. Speaking of, so you watched the feminist video, right?
Yeah.
You watched the whole thing?
I don't remember it like from top to bottom. It was a minute ago.
So do you remember the people in there?
I kind of do.
Do you remember the guy who said he was a cyst?
Nah.
You know what a cyst is? I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. But yeah, I may have to search it up.
What does it mean?
But
dang. How do you spell it?
Wait, yeah, search it. I'm gonna search it. But oh wait.
You said what pop
no.
Considered real?
Okay, what is it called?
Yeah.
A man who is unable to have sex with a woman.
So a gay dude?
No. There was a specific word that the dude
used. Like he doesn't have a penis?
No, like he has a penis, but he's not able to pull women.
There's a term for that?
Yes.
Wait, look. So he's attracted to women. But he just can't pull women.
Yeah, he can't have sex with women.
What if he calls up like a prostitute or something?
I mean,
he still can't do it. Like he can't get hard. I don't get it. What do
like
you mean?
he's just unable to find. Like I guess he can call up a prostitute.
Oh, like he just. So he just doesn't have game. The reason you're saying this, like he doesn't have any game. Like he can't. He can't even talk.
And
to
he's
a girl.
proud of that.
Oh, so it's him.
Yeah.
Like that would be pretty much the basis of it. It's like
I don't know what the word was.
So somebody who's okay with being a male. Hey, actually, I have a video. I'm not gonna show you to because it doesn't correlate. But there's this dude, YouTuber, shout out Hamza, right? He made a whole video about that, and he was saying how he's saying how dudes are gonna start killing other dudes and the world's gonna end. And the reason he said that was because, okay, so if you look in statistics, right?
Yeah.
I guess for somebody did the math, and they said like only like 20% of the dudes, maybe 30% of the dudes, but like a small percentage of dudes out of all the dudes on Earth are the ones who are like with all the women.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the top 20-30% of dudes are like with all the girls. And they're saying that that big 60-70%, they're only gonna be able to take that shit so long that they're gonna start fighting back.
Yeah. And
they're gonna start killing niggas.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either, bro.
Stuff just turning left real quick.
Like, I'm thinking about it. Like, imagine like you at like the club or something, or like not the club, but let's just say you somewhere, and you know, you with your girl, and like a whole bunch of like, what's the word again? Cyst?
No, it's not system. For the word right now.
I would just say simp. A whole bunch of simp ass dudes. Like school shooters. We're just gonna say a whole bunch of school shooter Tommies start like they come in the club or come in the area and they're like, you know what, bro? I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of not getting pussy. I'm tired of not being able to pull a girl. Yeah. That's gonna change now. And they just start shooting shit up, bro. I feel like that could possibly be a thing, and I don't think they're gonna come at like the average guy. They're gonna go to like the rich places. They're gonna go to Drake's mansion. Like they're gonna go to like the big places, and they're gonna like eliminate rich dudes who are smashing all the. Yeah, I think that's gonna happen.
So I feel like you fully thought this through.
I did because I watched the video on it, so I had a lot of time to think about it. But yeah, I think something like that's gonna happen. And then he was saying the only way that's not gonna happen is if they make the metaverse strong, so where you can actually start smashing in the metaverse and start smashing, like Roblox. Because they said that's the only way low quality dudes are gonna make it on this earth is if they're gonna improve themselves or they're gonna start smashing in the metaverse.
Bro, you seen that? You know who Whoopi? I can't say her name. Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg?
Yeah, black girl.
Oh, with the dreads. Yeah.
So
she like Lil Wayne.
Have you heard that she's been canceled recently?
The fuck? Isn't she like 60?
Yeah.
For what?
So she was on her talk show.
What did she say?
And they were on the topic of
I feel like I'm gonna get canceled, bro.
Nazis and
Nazis.
Yeah. So she was saying She was
should have died.
She was saying that
she fucked
the Holocaust was a
scam.
No, it was.
Needed?
It wasn't motivated by race.
Was or wasn't?
It wasn't. She said that it wasn't motivated by race, but it was man against man. Some crazy stuff like that.
Did you agree with it?
No. Like, I understand what she was saying, but bro,
she was saying some crazy stuff.
You got your platform. You're not that guy. Yeah. You can't say stuff and get away with it like it's not, because you're saying that the Holocaust wasn't motivated by race.
Yeah, that's like saying slavery.
Like slavery is not motivated by race. Yeah. It was just men.
Slavery was a choice.
Yeah, it was just men recuperating off of men action. Just.
I ain't gonna lie though, bro. With the slavery was a choice thing. No, don't call me crazy, bro. But I could hear Kanye out, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And this is on
It's
some
just-
like, this is on some spiritual shit though. You feel me? Like I'm gonna get real racist. Okay, I'm gonna just say that now. Shout out Black History Month.
You finna get canceled.
I don't care.
Don't let them.
I'm gonna just start by saying this about all my white supporters. I love you guys, and I do not see myself as superior from you guys.
I do.
All right, but to get that out of the way, you gotta remember this. I'm gonna give you some facts, and then I'm gonna give you my opinion behind the facts. I feel like the reason why, and this is kind of scientifically proven, the reason why that they took the black people for slavery to begin with was because black people were like 100 times stronger than white people in almost every single way possible. Now, this is why I called that slavery could have been a choice, because they took black people because black people, they got out of the plague faster. They could handle the UV rays. They wasn't. I said black people, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They could handle the UV rays, so they wasn't getting skin cancer like that, and they were just smarter and they connected with nature more. And when we say black people, we're talking about straight Africans from them motherlands, the real Africans. But what I don't understand is, if we had so much of them attributes, how the hell did we let them weak ass
guns?
You think they got guns faster than us? That's what it was?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, it was guns, but like, I
Son,
don't know.
there's only so much a bullet can stop a man.
A bullet can't stop a man. I just don't get how, like, you can't tell me that makes sense, bro. Them niggas were whites. Like, they were like pale as fuck white, and they were in Africa. They went to Africa. And they it's not like they went to Africa for 2 days and it went back. They were in Africa for a minute, a long time, years and years before slavery began, because they discovered Africa in, like, I think it was the 14 or the 1500s. Maybe it was even before that. The first slave wasn't like we didn't have the first slavery until the 1600s, which was almost 200 years later. I'm telling you, them niggas would have died. Something would have happened. I don't understand how they just stayed there for that long and just like adjusted. I mean, I get it, we got the South Africans and stuff like that, but that all came after slavery. So I just don't understand what the hell happened in that time frame. And they don't teach us about black people before 1600s. Like, we genuinely don't know. There might be one person.
I don't feel like there's like any real factual knowledge.
There's no factual knowledge. And literally, when you look up, this is the part that got me. When you look up white people history from like all the way up to like before Christ, so before like year 1, you will see actual like pictures and paintings. But when you look up the boats that they brought us, you will never find a real one. You can't find a real boat. You can't find any real one. It's only drawings and shit. That's the part that fucks with me. What if there's a lie somewhere? There's a lie in history somewhere, and there's a reason why slavery happened the way it did. And a lot of people bring all types of shit into it, like the Anunnaki and like aliens and all that shit. And I really feel like that has something to, like, maybe this is what I think. I think that we actually did choose to be in that position because of something that happened. We chose to be in that position.
So you think we submitted?
Yes,
submitted.
I think we surrendered, and we told them niggas like, okay, y'all got 400 years. No, you don't think so? I think so. That's what I think.
I believe that they submitted themselves, but I don't feel like it was one of those things where it was a third party. I feel like there was just white men with guns, and they made an example of a few thousand, or let me not say thousand, a few hundred black people, and the black people were like, we can't do anything about this, so they just submitted themselves. Because while they were superior in terms of strength and maybe intellect, they didn't have guns. They didn't have like spears, rocks. But a gun during that time was like a firework. It was unique. It was never seen before. It could travel fast distances, kill you one shot.
Okay, I have a question though to rebuttal that, because I respect that. That's like the more logical approach to what this is. But now we're gonna go to the present. Now you should know this. You're smart. Everything. And I mean everything ever created in America alone
Don't say that.
was to keep black people low. I don't know what you thought I was going to say, but it was to keep black people low. Nigga, everything, bro. The way that school is, religion. I'm sorry, I don't want to get into religion, but religion plays a big role in this. Fucking mainstream media, black women. Dude, I hate to say it, black women don't have any leaders right now.
No.
They don't. Who do they got? Michelle Obama?
Michelle Obama's not a...
Fuck Michelle Obama.
I wouldn't say that, but she's not a consistent, real leader.
Nicki Minaj?
That's crazy. The main real
Rihanna?
leaders are really rappers.
Exactly. That's
And
not
rapping
good,
out
bro.
WAP.
Exactly. It's sad, bro. It's sad, and I'm not trying to shit on them and say that like Nicki isn't lyrically talented because she is, but dude, she's demonic. We already know that. They're all in the industry, whatever. So like, you really gotta look at it. Imagine if that was different. Imagine if we did have leaders, black men and black women had actual leaders. Like all the leaders got killed. They're all dead. They're all dead right now. None of them. Everybody who claims to be a leader is a fraud, and I'm telling you, like I guess we can call J. Cole, but I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't trust that nigga Cole either. Yeah, I said it.
That kind of hurt. See, the problem is, I feel like there are people who are leaders or who could be leaders. It's just the problem is when black people become leaders, they're made an example of. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. You have all these black leaders who stood up, spoke out. They were assassinated.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't know, Martin Luther King was assassinated by the government.
Oh God.
Like, a lot of people don't know that. This man didn't die for the assassination bullet. This man was sent to the hospital. Then was
they killed, just like, bro, they did that shit for so many niggas, bro. JFK, he was the only white... if you look into that nigga's story, bro, he was the only white president who actually cared about black people. Literally, even Abraham Lincoln ain't really care about black people.
He had some morals, bro, but he was like,
bro,
you know what?
We be praising that nigga because he was there when slavery ended, bro. But that nigga literally said on live TV, he was like, not TV, but on live, he was like, honestly, if y'all can have it, he was like, y'all can have the niggas down south, bro. We just trying to have the niggas up north. And then the niggas down south was like, no, we want them all. We want all the niggers. And he was like, you know, fuck it. Let's fight them.
I ain't get him.
He didn't fight them for us. He fight them because he wasn't trying to break the country up. The only one who actually cared was JFK. You feel me? JFK was actually okay. This is why. Because shit, I don't want to get my facts mixed up. But he was looking into some case. I think it has something to do with either. Has something to do with the army or the pharmaceutical industry. Mm-hmm. It has something to do with one of those two. I forgot which one it was, but he started looking into it and he started gaining good information. Because if you don't know, for the people watching this, just because you're president of the United States doesn't mean that you have the most power.
Oh no, you definitely don't have the most power.
So you still got to do your own digging, even when you become president, because you're the only nigga who's not in the fucking Epstein bullshit.
Yeah.
But he found out so many facts, and he was finna get rid of all that shit. Like he was actually passing bills, and niggas from like who look like us were learning. Yeah. One day he was riding around with his whip, got shot by the government. I'm telling you, bro, they hired.
And that's a legitimate thing.
It's a legitimate thing. It goes over everybody's head because that's the thing about the government. It goes over your head.
If you start having too much power, that's the thing. Like the power construct. Once you gain too much power, and the government notices that, they will get rid of you.
You win, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I hate to say it, bro, but that nigga Drake killed X, bro. He killed X. He did. Drake killed X, dude.
I don't want to say that,
bro. He killed X.
I don't want to say that.
Fuck Drake.
I wouldn't.
SMX, Triple X.
I would not.
In exchange for body bag.
I would not believe. Okay, I would believe if that came out and that was true.
Hire some help. Get rid of these niggas. Fuck what it was.
But I would also believe if Drake had nothing to do with it.
Bro, X was a grimy ass nigga, bro. X literally, he used to post on Instagram every day that he wanted to fuck Drake's mom.
Yes. And
over and over again.
Yes. But I would still be open to the idea that Drake didn't come.
Drake is a light skin. You know he was getting in his feelings about that.
Yes. But
and this is what I think. This is what Ali told me because we were having a conversation about this like last year.
Ali?
Yeah, Alonzo. He
told
me.
Ali.
No, not Ali. Ali.
Oh.
And he was like, I think that if Drake did do that shit, I think Drake didn't want to. I think Drake was kind of like,
hesitant.
Yeah, he was like, I don't really know if I want to. But the reason why, the industry was like, bro, like it was getting in that nigga's head and said, hey, X is going to be bigger than you. Because he was 19 years old and he already had 2 platinum songs and he had a platinum album before he turned 20. Drake didn't do that shit. He didn't do that shit. Drake came up after he was on Degrassi and all that bullshit. He
the
still
only
came
people
up.
who were able to do some stuff like that was like X and Juice.
Literally,
they wrote that.
That's what I'm saying. They did so much. Like, dude, we will be 18 in 2 years, or actually in 1 year, and 19 2 years. 19 years old, bro. They already are ahead of more than half of the rappers in the industry who have been big for damn near a decade. Of course that nigga wanted to take him out because they started getting in his head. He said, oh, Drake, you're getting old. Nigga, you're 30. You're pushing 30. He's young. He's going to be in the game longer than you, and he's going to steal all your clout. And it wasn't even just because of all that. What the icing on the cake was when he had that FaceTime call with DJ Academics and he started telling everybody about spirituality. Yeah. Frequencies, hertz, meditation, opening your third eye, all of that. And he was like, all right, this nigga's, he's the biggest artist in the world. He's beefing with Drake and he's spiritual. He's
opening up to too many people. That's the same thing with you. When you touch, especially so much of the younger generation, when you start touching that,
it's raps.
Yeah.
Because that's, if you think about it, mainstream media, they don't care about old people. They don't care about millennials. They don't care about your parents. They care about us and our little siblings.
True.
That's all they care about. Everything on Snapchat, Instagram is all targeting us. It's not about them. They're out of here. It's about us. If you get mind control of the next generation, you're gonna be in there forever. You feel me? And when we get to a certain age, 25 to 30, 35, it's not gonna be about us anymore. It's gonna be about our kids. So yeah, X and Juice were the only spiritual niggas in the industry, and they had the biggest impact.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other spiritual people in the industry right now, but they don't have no impact.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that with all that being said, Drake did it. Maybe not Drake himself, but maybe his CEO was like, all right, I'm gonna make some phone calls.
Yeah.
They're gonna hire some niggas. Rest in peace, X, bro. Damn, Drake gonna see this and be like, we're gonna have to get this nigga on TP. What's up, nigga?
You wanna say anything to end it off?
Oh shit, we was getting that long too.
Yeah. We can't have another 2 hours.
Conspiracies.
I want to say thank
other
you
issues.
for everyone who stopped in today.
Yeah, thank you for thank you for watching the video. That was an interesting one. Number 6 is wild, bro. I don't know. This one's like, I went from being sad to being angry about 2 different reasons. I think it was a good one. I liked it. This one ain't gonna get that many views.
Nah, we talking about too much real stuff.
Exactly.
Too much entertainment.
We're not talking about like smashing people and stuff like that, so not many people are gonna watch it. But that's okay.
We'll bring it back eventually.
Eventually, I guess. But you can only talk about that shit for so long, bro. Like, nobody wants to talk about, like, bot stuff for, like, you know?
Booty.
Nobody cares about booty. Booty's not gonna get you rich, bro. Like, if you're watching this, bro, and you was expecting me to talk about
you smashing Rihanna.
Fuck Rihanna. I don't care about her no more. She's pregnant. She's irrelevant now. She hasn't dropped an album in like 5 years, bro.
Stop.
Alright, I'm done.
We still need our viewers.
You're right.
I'm Moss.
I'm UTP.
If Drake kill us, I love you guys. And this is the Upon Pressure Podcast. Well,
I better not get assassinated after this shit.
Dumb and they gon' hate. Talk about me cause I do it. Ice on my way, I've been through it. I was there when no one knew it. Call me T because I'm zooming. Really rapping and I'm booming. Get it, they talking about yellow. Put like a cello. People like money, they talking about Kello. Talking about funny, they dumb and they rello. Ooh, you say bow and I say hello. People, they snoozing fast and really mad because I get it like second.